Live in the THV 11 studio, I'm Karen Fuller here with meteorologist Tracy Bean. She's tracking your weekend forecast and how Mother's Day is looking. Tracy?
Well, we are starting out the weekend really nice. Outside right now, plenty of sunshine, 75 in the capital city. A lot of 70s across the state. And again, we're starting to see a few of those clouds start to build in a little bit. Now, we will start to still see that sunshine. We're looking for that northerly breeze around 10 to 15 for those sustained winds. But we could see some gusts upwards of around 20 miles per hour. And I can't rule out a stray shower, but I think most of us, of course, will stay dry today. So that is the good news. Around the state, we've just got 70s for us all. We are looking at that mostly sunny sky and a bit breezy at times. Now, the rain chances do look a little scary here because you're thinking, well, it's going to rain for the next few days. The good news is it's going to be very sporadic at times. Now, as we're heading into Saturday and Sunday, it may be a bit more than what we received yesterday and today, but again, still going to be mostly great. Now, as we're heading into Monday, it becomes a bit more widespread, and we've got some other changes headed our way. Take a look at these average temperatures, 79. So we're below that, of course, but as we're heading into Tuesday, it is on a roll to heat things up for the rest of the week, and we'll talk more about that forecast and what you can expect for Mother's Day as well, coming up in just a few minutes.
Tracy, thank you. Our top story at noon is about schools in Arkansas. Just this week, the U.S. Department of Education praised the state for giving families of students alternatives to schools that, according to a federal study, come up as, quote, persistently unsafe. The federal initiative last year flagged 40 school-related incidents and placed 15 schools on a list of schools considered unsafe. The Arkansas Learns Act gives parents or guardians the option to transfer their child to a different school through the voucher program. THV 11 recently met with Arkansas Secretary of Education Jacob Oliva, who explained that incidents can be a wide range of issues, with some even taking place outside a school.
When you look at the factors that go into that, some of that's reported incidents, some of that may be crime. So when you look at which schools met the criteria to be designated as safe, a lot of that's self-reported incidents that may have happened during a school day. But also, if there's an event that happens at a school, it's reported as a school incident.
Oliva says the Learns Act also invests in making schools safer, including $50 million for campus security upgrades. The Little Rock School District is reaching out for help with its school breakfast and lunch debt now at more than $175,000. 13 schools have outstanding charges for feeding children whose parents or families can't afford to pay for their child. The district says the unpaid meal costs, though, are straining educational resources.
If a student comes to us and they want to eat, we're going to feed them. It's never the child's fault. Without food, they can't think. So we feed them and then we incur debt. We buy the food, but we're unable to claim that or charge it to anyone if the parents or households don't pay.
So the district is appealing to local businesses or community members for help. You can find more information in the digital version of this story on THV11.com. In Little Rock's Hillcrest neighborhood, opinions over a parking lot are mixed. The lot would mean demolishing or moving at least 2 structures. The lot is for the Holy Souls Catholic Church. To make space, 2 historic homes and nearby outdoor space would need to be moved or even raised. The City Board of Directors approved the plan earlier this week. Kathy Webb says she understands the need for growth, but she's more concerned with those who live in the area.
Most of the people who spoke in favor of the parking lot do not live in this neighborhood, and so I appreciate their wanting to have more convenience for the hour or so a week that they're here, but my primary interest is the people who live in this neighborhood 24/7.
The church says the parking lot is needed to accommodate its elderly or disabled members. Developing now, a Missouri woman convicted on federal charges after killing an Arkansas woman to try and take her baby as her own will now face trial in the state. The Arkansas Supreme Court clearing the way for Amber Waterman to stand trial in Benton County in the murder of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby. Waterman pleaded guilty in the federal trial, and for that she received a life sentence. But state prosecutors want her to face a capital murder charge here and plan to pursue the death penalty if she's convicted. The justices rejected Waterman's claim of double jeopardy, ruling the federal kidnapping case was separate from the state's murder charges. As the Trump administration moves to dismantle FEMA, the agency has now lost its acting head administrator. Cameron Hamilton had only held the position for a few months. Hamilton testified on Capitol Hill that he opposed the plan to dissolve FEMA and let states handle disasters themselves. Another member with Homeland Security will now step into Hamilton's position. Here at home, the American Red Cross is providing assistance tomorrow. Centers will be set up in Little Rock for people who may need help after recent storms. It's happening from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anyone wanting to attend can go to the Red Cross office at the Shackelford location. Recovery in Arkansas continues as the state grapples with weather events that only seem to become more severe. Some places still trying to get back on their feet after the unforgettable EF3 tornado, of course, from March of 2023. Funding is available under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery. It requires Little Rock to offer public meetings on how the community wants that money spent. And just last night, we learned of several steps that must happen before the city has the money in its possession.
Once we get that information, gather that data, we'll start working on annual action plan. We have to put it out for 30 days for a comment period. And then once we get through with the comment period, we'll go in front of the board of directors.
After the plan advances through the federal government, the protocol begins for an environmental review. Once that is submitted, then will the city be granted its access to the money. The United States will soon meet for a trade discussion with China. President Trump will visit Switzerland this weekend, and there he says he hopes China will consider opening its market to U.S. businesses. Natalie Brand has new details from D.C.
Close to $10 trillion.
President Trump signaled optimism about talks this weekend between his Treasury Secretary, U.S. Trade Representative, and their Chinese counterparts aimed at dialing down tensions over tariffs.
I believe it's substantive, yes.
On social media Friday morning, the president called on China to open up its markets to the U.S.
That'd be great for the world, it would be great for our businesses, and I think it would be great for friendship.
He also posted that he thinks an 80% tariff on China seems right, adding it's up to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
If the talks go well, would you then consider lowering the tariff rate on China?
Well, it could be. I mean, we're going to see. Right now, you can't get any higher. It's at 145, so we know it's coming down.
Small business owners left in limbo by the administration's trade policy and sky-high tariffs on Chinese imports say they are anxiously watching negotiations.
We can't possibly absorb a 145% tax on our raw materials.
Jason Levitt's company in Alexandria, Virginia, manufactures lithium batteries for race cars and motorcycles. He says he can only get the main component, lithium cells, from China.
There is nowhere else in the world where I can get this product specifically, so it's a headshot.
Levitt says building a lithium cell factory in the U.S. would take years and significant investment. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.